Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. It's not easy, so keep working, keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. See you at work.
You can't have that cookie, Elmo. Rocco wants to eat it.
I have tried to be your friend, but you will not listen to me. So you invited this monster. Don't make me kill somebody!
You speak as though I have conquered death. I live death every day. I am surrounded by it, smothered by it. Look at you now. He would have everlasting life. You seek to defy death, yet you cannot even defy sleep. And our like sleep is to death. It is a painted death.
Yeah. We in the casket with Clint Stoker talking about Dracula. Oh yeah, we ain't taking no baths on this. Yeah. Yeah, I love to take a bath in a casket. A casket where I dream. I love to take a bath in a casket. In a casket, they never hear you scream. By candlelight, I lure you with temptation. In my arms, you think yourself so bold. But when I drank the life from your neck, dear, in my arms your body will go cold.
Hey, it's the Diaz brothers from Zate Comics, and we're back with our latest campaign, bringing together all the greatest artists and talent that CG has to offer. So take a look at...
Whoa! I'll take it from here, Diaz brothers. What up, people? It's your boy, Mr. CG. Allow me to be your tour guide on the biggest, bounciest beach party book in CG history. CG Vacation! We got bodacious beach spots springing up from the biggest properties in indie comics. Baby, you don't need those guns when you got these guns, you know what I'm saying? Featuring art from the industry's heavy hitters, as well as the best new CG talent. I'm talking Dale Keown, Billy Tucci, Auntie Bear, Shanth Enjeti, Rennie Draws, and many more, rubbing ink on hot properties you love, like Pit, Sheep, First Man, Sovereign Wolf,
Cyber Frog,
Shanu, the Lucent, Downcast. I could go on and on. And I will. We got Andy Smith, Kelsey Shannon, PTP, Kaylee, Lil Presti, Monster MD, Rage Tully, Graveyard Shift. Yo, on CG Beach, we even got the weeds covered. Or, uncovered. It's gonna be more than 50 pages of pin-up perfection, like Penumbra over here. Hey, mamacita, I was just walking by, and I couldn't help but notice. Holy crap, what the hell is that? We're all gonna die! Why are you posing right now? So what are you waiting for? Take a little break and get away with all your faves. You know you deserve it. Back CG Vacation on Indiegogo today. Later, gang. We got Dahl, Robertson, Joe Ball, Sontag, Miriam Diaz, Lawless, Bancroft, Romero, McMahon, Dalton, Casanova. Just too many to mention, dude.
Nosfero, does this word not sound like the death bird culling the living dead at dawn? It is the name both ghouls and demons dare not say, for they know it means death for the undead.
son of a. So that's all right because my voice was a little raspy. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? It is so good to be back with the same level of excellence that you've come to expect from this channel. My name is Shanth Enjeti. This is Shanth Enjeti Art, and welcome to the Waffle Lodge. Let us catch up. We have lost some ground due to the gremlins living inside of my computer and human error, as Hal would say in 2001. Much love. That was my best speech ever. That was the greatest sales pitch for Nosfero you're never going to hear. So I'm working on Nosfero the Crypt Walker like a lot of my CG brethren. I am working on a commission for the Visions piece right now, so I can't, or a Visions book right now, so I can't show what I'm working on because it's for the coach, it's for the boss man. It is great to see you guys, and I am working away on this page, so I'm taking a break from that every now and again. Yeah, this is highly irregular, Dave. Must be a human error. Oh, it was earth-shattering. But you know what's even more earth-shattering than that, guys? While I have been doing, and yes, let me see who's in the chat here, and I'm just seeing this comment. I think Gary Oldman is up there, my top 3 actors alongside Denzel. Indeed, man. You're showing your class there, Jordan. Seriously, those are 2 really outstanding actors who both appeared in Book of Eli, one of my favorite movies of all time. Really hope nothing comes out about him that makes me hate him. Me too. Amen. Absolutely agree. So we got Stephen Rockwood always on tap. Thank you so much for being here at this the Waffle Lodge all the time, Stephen. I always notice it, and I appreciate you so much. Yeah, we're at 411 backers. Can't believe it. What is up, Cranberry Langers? Also a regular here at the Waffle Lodge. Thank you for being here. Aaron Louver, I can never pronounce the name correctly. Aaron Louvier, is that how I pronounce it? I apologize if I pronounce it wrong. Howdy to you, my friend. I tip my hat to you. Much love. Art and Times, Jay Ryan, it is a pleasure to have you here. Chad Townsend, I love that last name. It is great to have you here, my friend. Let's see, we've got Cranberry Langers as always. Matthew Fowler. I've been really enjoying Tiger Blue, guys. Check out that book. Tiger Blue 2 is launching soon. It is a great book. Love it. One of my favorite reads, and had a great time with it. So do check it out. Beautiful artwork, beautiful story. Here are the links. Like Kick 1. It is great to see you, Like Kick 1. As always, I tip my hat to you, my friend. Thank you for keeping it real and keeping it in this chat. Yeah, Shanth defies sleep all the time, though. It is true. It is true. Hail Shanth, hail Zach Fernandez, and hail CG chat indeed. Let's see what else we have here. Jordan is saying, hey, Art and Times, Random McRanderson, this voice is grating and annoying. Yeah, I mean, are we talking about mine? Because, yeah. The silence is deafening. So there you go. There's Nosfero the Crypt Walker. Hello, Shanth, and all of you fine folks, says James Hayes. Tip of the hat to you. I hope you're all having a great day, James Hayes. We hope you're having a great day. Thank you for bringing the positivity and keeping it real. How cold has Nosfero's tea gone again? I wondered. Quite cold. That's right. I turned off Alex Jones to hang out with all of you. Priorities. There you go. Well, I appreciate it. Tip of the hat. Anytime you spend here, we appreciate. Charge indeed. And we've got Odin saying, well, the real Martian, please stand up. Good eye. I like where your head's at. And muted. Don't tell him he's muted. No audio. I know. The humiliations galore. But it's great to see all of you guys. Sean's best show indeed, in silence. What's up, groomsmen? How are you doing out on the West Coast? I hope you're having a great time there. Nicotron, it's great to see you, my friend. Teflon Ron, I almost missed you there. Hail, Teflon Ron. Nothing sticks to that man. No getting around it. He is for real. Skunk for I can never pronounce these things. Guten Abend, Shanth. Guten Abend, chat. Greetings from Germany. Vielen Dank. Let me see. Yo, Neek, your sound different than usual. Yeah, it's because I'm coughing up a lung. Let me see if my my settings on my mic are all right. Hang on a second here. Camera, audio. Yep, I do. Dang, kicked me off again. All right, let me know if this is better, guys. Does that sound better? Can you guys hear me? Bane Mailer, indeed, stay above the fray. Let me know if this sounds better. There's no excuse for Sean not having 1,000 backers. Thank you. Y'all link and share this campaign. Indeed, someday I'll get Tiger Blue. Indeed, Sean Stephen is right. Something's off with your mic. How's it sound now? Is it sounding better now? I just switched it over to what should be the correct audio. Let me make sure I didn't get bumped off of that. All right, there we go. Now it's on. Yeah, so what happened was when the mute button got clicked, it must have boosted me off of or booted me off of that. So that's what it is. There we go. Hopefully that sounds a little less tinny and a little less distracting here. What would I do without my chat saving the day?
So I've been working on a few things, and one of those things was while I've been, wrapping up and working on that piece for the Visions book, which I'm really, really proud of. It's coming along great. One of the things that I've also been doing was working on a video because I decided, hey, what's up, Phil? Hail to you, brother. I hope you're doing well today. Yeah, everybody's saying hail, Phil. I've been working on a little video stinger because when people were giving me super chats, I didn't have anything to play. And I know, speak of the devil and he will appear. I can't show you the Visions piece. I'm sorry, Stephen. John Malin would appear and destroy me. He would smite me. I will have been smote at that point. But yeah, it's I just had a bento box, and Boba might dive into Tiger Blue. Listen, man, you do you, and you keep it real. Boba and bento box and whatever else you see fit. So yeah, so I've been I wanted to do a video stinger for we won't tell Malin. Yeah, he'll find out. He's got the hearing of a wolf. Hail, Shanth and chat. What's up, Scottsley? Great to see you, my friend. So yeah, so I was working on I did a video or a short little video stinger for when people send super chats, and then I wanted to also do one for the Horror at the Waffle Lodge show, and that's horror, to be clear, at the Waffle Lodge show. And so I was working on doing two versions of that because something that that Ethan was saying, I don't even know when, because the days in Comicsgate, man, they just blend together with constant work and streaming and swinging at what's in front of you. But he was talking about how he wants us all to, just people in general, in Comicsgate, he wants us to step up the entertainment factor in terms of what we're doing. And I started thinking, I try to do as best as I can on this show with videos and everything like that. But it just dawned on me that I needed to have some more elements to the show. And so that's what I did. Yeah, that's right. It's welcome to Whore at the Waffle Lodge. I'm your chief whore, Shanth Enjeti. It's what it is. That is what it is, folks. And so I found this GIF of two cheerleaders, and I put them inside the Waffle Lodge, did a couple of things with layers as well as the stinger for the Waffle Lodge. And, it's not like it's animation, but I did frame by frame put the Waffle Lodge logo on their outfits. And it was like, oh my God, it was something. But, it's the same thing I do with the CG Kings intros. Hopefully everybody got a chance to see that show on my brother Gabe's channel last night. And yeah, just been trying to keep up with things and continue to bring it here at the Waffle Lodge and here on this book. So let me see what we got here. The horror indeed. And yeah, it's been a pretty eventful week. It's getting just tons of stuff behind the scenes. Oh, tons of writing on Nosfero. I was writing a lot of dialogue and a lot of texts on it today. And it's just, the way that what I love about this art form, there's a lot I love about this art form, but one of the things I love most about this art form is the way that text and image play off of each other. So as you do, when you're an artist writer, as you do the artwork, you're also, affecting what you're going to put in terms of the word bubbles and in terms of the story. And there's a lot of things that I want to have in this book that are very important for me to have in this book that are a part of the story and that have deepened as a result of the work I've been doing lately. And it's really exciting to see this stuff coming together. There's a lot of, was I just about to grab something here? Dang, paint this book. And then, I know what I was going to grab. I was trying to remember, every time I'm trying to think of what to do while I'm painting, I was like, I need to grab some orange paint. But when I'm working, the thing that I'm always thinking about is, we talk a lot about world building, but I think there's also, that aspect of story building that builds out the world, and both are really happening. Reni's doing a piece for Visions too. Of course she can't show it either. Yeah, I was watching that, and I think we were on a stream the other day. We were on Skip Edwards' channel. So if you haven't subscribed to Skip Edwards' channel, please do. Hey, Shanth, I was thinking it might be cool sometimes to have your camera angle of your paint palette for mixing the colors. Just an idea, might be neat. Yeah, I'm going to try to do as much as I can do to show that stuff off. But let me think on that, how I'm going to pull that off. But I promise I will, because I think I've heard that suggestion from you before. If I haven't, it's a great one. So I will take a look at it and see what I can do. The thing I was running into with streaming was, hey, what's up, Dragon Pisces? Great to see you. The thing I was running into with streaming was that it's how many different things my computer can filter through it. So it's happening on this end. At some point, I'm going to need to probably invest in when when money is whatever is different. I'm going to need to probably invest on a more heavy duty machine for streaming, because I'm going to need to do, some more multi-camera setups than just these two. Because I think that's what would allow me to have the palette view, and move the camera over there and all that kind of stuff. There we go. I'm just going to, what I'm doing right here is I'm just adding some more white around the eye right there, because I'm going to remove some of it, but I got to do, it's sort of an additive and subtractive process just so I can get the angle right. So I start by reducing down and kind of, that's what I'm looking for, bringing out the shape of the pupil more. And then the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to locate it by bringing down the shape of the whites of the eyes. And so that's pretty much how I build my faces when I'm working here. What is up, Sumo Thori? Hail to you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. And so, yeah, so when I was doing the video for the super chat stuff, and then I wanted to do one that was like a horror movie version of that for the Thursday show. It was a lot of fun, and it's gotten me thinking about just all of the different things we can do as, we have basically within reason, we have the ability to be as creative as we want on our shows. And I know a lot of people are bringing their own unique flavor, their own unique style to the stuff that we're doing here. And so that's kind of what I feel like is the job. I feel like that's the mission here, is to make entertaining stuff. Because I was doing my bow for the super chats for a while. I was like, I'll play that because I had that on deck, and I do like it. It's a fun way to go. But I started thinking about, if I was to raise, the entertainment level up a little bit, what would I be doing? And that kind of, led me to explore a lot of different things with it. And so as I worked on it, holy cow, I've got sifting through tubes of paint here. As I started thinking about it, the thing I kind of kept coming back to again and again was I want to make video content that feels like it's original for its purpose. So if it's not just all recycled. So that's the big thing. And the same thing goes with the show that I do with Vaughn on Thursdays. I want to make sure that it's a show worth doing. We're doing American Werewolf in London this Thursday. We're going to be talking about that at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great. But, it's you guys know, it's a process of trial and error. It's a process of bringing your skill sets to bear on everything you undertake, whether it's the comic, lettering, story, composition, rendering out, all of that stuff requires that level of focus. Make sure I'm on frame there. There we go. And it's an additive and a subtractive process, not unlike digital. And let me see if I can move this down here just a little bit so you guys can see a little bit more. And I'm going to adjust my brightness on my screen so I can see what you guys are seeing. There we go. Yes, I should have someone drawing a monster during Thursday's show while you're talking. You know what's interesting? Vaughn or whoever, you're right. I also think, and correct me if this doesn't sound like it's an obvious thing to do. I've got a lot of head sketches that I'm going to be starting to work on soon. And so doing some of those monster head sketches live while we talk about on the show, those ones that backers bought, the head sketch tier, that might be a great opportunity to do that, Teflon Ron. That's a great idea. You can have Dan Lawless drawing a monster during your monster show. Yeah, I'll have Dan Lawless on anytime, man. I want to have Dan on to talk about his work some more. He's such a great guy. I was watching him on the Post Kangs show, which was great, you know. Gorgeous eyes, Shanth. Thank you so much. Yeah, I love painting eyes. They're such an important part of it all. Yes, do that. There you go. I'm going to do a Terror in the Trenches piece for Vaughn's contest. That would be fun. Oh, Vaughn's awesome. Yeah, do it. I love that character. 10 pages into Tiger Blue, and this book is fucking great. The scale, the writing, the art is top. Yeah, absolutely. It's beautiful art in times of Jay Ryan saying hello to Sumo Thori. Yeah, guys, that is a really great idea. And thank you. Thank you for always putting the suggestions out there. You know, it's a lot of times the biggest thing that I run into is it's not so much, dealing with good ideas versus bad ideas or that kind of thing. Although that does happen sometimes. But a lot of it is the biggest issue is time. Like, how much time do I have? If I had more hours in the day, there are so many things that I would like to do. But when you get a situation like that, that's a perfect fit. You know, painting monsters to catch up on doing some of that artwork I want to get started on, which is great. And then also doing a show to entertain you guys. That's what it's about. I mean, it's about entertaining you guys at the end of the day. And I've been having these conversations, the same ones that I guess we've all been having on different, channels and with different people. But I've been having this conversation about the importance of escapism and the importance of escapist entertainment for so long. And there just aren't enough hours in the day to do everything I want to do. But if I can do my bit, then I'm good to go. You know, that would be fantastic. If I can just say, let me move this camera back just a little bit, because I think I'm hitting the camera a little too much with it, or I'm hitting it's making the camera shake a little too much. And hopefully the audio is good for you guys. Yeah, good idea, Teflon Ron. It will give the headshots more meaning if people see you actually drawing them on stream. Yeah, hey, good point. Right on, Rock. Hail Art and Times, Jay Ryan. Yeah, never enough hours in the day, which is why I value every hour you guys spend here at the Waffle Lodge. I mean, that's a big part of what I do. Let me adjust that down. That's a big part of why I do what I do. It's when you're not seeing me streaming, I am painting. And when you're not seeing me painting or writing, and when I'm not painting on stream, I'm painting on something I can't show on stream because it's not mine. It's not mine to show. And those things are wonderful opportunities. It's always great to get to be involved in some of these bigger projects. CG Vacation being a really great example of that. If you haven't backed Phil's book yet, the link is in the description, but I'm really proud of how that piece came out. Let me see. Sometimes when I see you paint, I hear Bob Ross in the background saying, "Oh yeah, get in there, nice and smooth." That's right. Yeah, God. I did that stream. Hail Groomsman. I did that stream in a Bob Ross voice for a while, and I just was, oh my God, that was funny. But it's one of those things where when I'm working on this stuff, and I was working on the Downcast piece for CG Vacation, one of the things that was really enjoyable about doing that, there were a lot of things, but one of the things that was really enjoyable was trying to move the mastery of what I'm doing further in terms of my painting ability. And I want that for the people who back the book. You guys deserve it. The people who back every project I'm involved in, you deserve it. And I want that for Clint Stoker, the creator of Downcast. And I want that for Phil, the creator of, and Zaid Comics, and Brandon, the creators of that project. So that's what it comes down to. See here. Yeah, absolutely. Hail Groomsman. Hail Teflon Ron. There you go, guys. That's how we do things. And so one of the people that I'm using for reference on this character is an actress named Madeline Smith, who's a Hammer horror beauty. She was a Bond girl as well. And she has these really kind of wild eyebrows. You know, they're very of their time. And because I want to keep that aspect to it, I've got reference always called up, you know, near me, so I can kind of capture that. So I'm just looking to see what the right reference is I want. It's not a literal interpretation of her. She has a very specific look, but I'm painting a character who possesses a sort of innocence that many of her characters have possessed in the movies, particularly the vampire lovers. You know, that's what defined her character. So I want to make sure that I'm getting that quality to my character Laurel. And so, yeah, it's always going to have to be that there's this thing that you see in people's faces, particularly when you do portraits, that is specific to them. And it's more so than a specific turn of anatomy or whatever. It's just this it's this quality of light and shadow, the way light moves across their face, and that's what it comes down to, you know. And so I always try to, you know, bring that individuality and beauty to the figures that I paint and the characters that I make. That's what it comes down to. But also, you know, that sexiness, that beauty, that's important to me. That's important that you get something out of this. Well, I got to go. I would love to stay, but I need to practice my art. Absolutely, Dragon Pisces, go to it. And that requires me watching beginner level videos, your college. Professor Waffle, Shanth. Well, much love. Thank you so much. Got to say, Shanth, I'm pumped for Nosfero and got to get those art books. Yeah, absolutely. Nosfero is going to be great. And I say that having so much appreciation for the great work that's coming out of CG right now. And for me, the thing about Nosfero is it's a what's the word I'm looking for? It honors the legacy of myth and adventure stories, and yet it carves out its own little view, its own little interpretation of those classic sort of stories of vampires, even of Lovecraftian lore. And what has been the real amazing part of creating this project and working on it here, and having it, you know, exceed my expectations, is how all of those different components have come together to make something that is its own work of art and has a seamless sort of quality to it. Because that's what, I mean, when you see a character like this, I want you to, yes, this is Laurel. Yeah, I want you guys to fall into her eyes. I want you to fall in love with her. She's just been rescued by Nosfero, and she's just been rescued by Nosfero, and she has fallen in love with him because she, you know, has been saved by him, and she has been saved from the brink of oblivion. And there's this real honesty to the way that she feels about him, because unlike, you know, the I can save myself attitude, think about what you would feel living in this time that is, you know, not a time of modern technology where you live on the edge all the time of survival, and then you get swept up in this evil, you know, dangerous world. You're in the land of the dead and someone rescues you from that. What would a normal human reaction be? And she's very young and she's very sincere and genuine. Yeah, don't forget to hit that like button and share this channel. Absolutely. Yeah, everybody's saying hello, hello. And so it's like this classic kind of movie and story quality to it. Like, how would you react? Now, it's amazing to me because this is that sequence where she is learning the story of him. And that's the thing I'm really excited to show, because it's going to have all these great visuals to it. It's going to have a lot of really beautiful and creepy and, you know, classic visuals to it, but it's also going to you know, contextualize her fascination with him, because she realizes that he's a complicated guy and he's a hero, and he's a person of who is fighting for good and has deep faith that keeps him going. And all of those things, like when I write these things, they're all things that you aren't going to find in mainstream entertainment, and they have a richness to them. And that's what's so great. Whoa, Replicator 4 sign up has begun. Are you serious? I need a trailer then. That's got to happen. Holy cow. Yeah, I need that. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing for me. Yeah. He's a complicated man and no one understands him but this woman. You're absolutely right. Yeah, she has the desire to understand him, forged in what she has experienced, what she has seen. She's there's this different attitude that is very normal, where you are, when you're in a dangerous world or a dangerous time where things aren't just handed off to you, that you form these bonds with people based on a sense of survival and their own individual strength. And she sees this almost this apparition. I mean, he is like a Dark Knight, he is like a Batman, and he is like a phantom. He's human in his actions and he's noble in his actions, but he's mysterious. And she sees this character, this innocent sees this character, and she goes, this is the person who rescued me, who gave me my life back. And that's what's beautiful. Laurel is Fay Ray. Yeah, that's true. I didn't know who Fay Ray was until the other day when they were talking about her on Gabe's channel. Yeah, Fay Ray, what a legend. What a legend. Hey, what's up, Voyager 47? Great to see you. Hail all indeed. It's Shane Davis. I just got that. Rock Crin, great to see you. Yeah, absolutely, man. Hail indeed. It's great to be here. Yeah, just talking about Nosfero. Indeed. Yeah. And so when I was working on, when I was writing on the story today, and it was word balloons and word balloon placement was a large part of what I was, roughing out. The trick is aesthetic, guys. Like the trick is, if I paint this woman, and this is I'm sure you may be aware that this is a painting, not a person. But you don't fall into those eyes and say, wow, wouldn't it be quite a thing to have a woman such as this admire me for my character and fall in love with me? That's the job of the painting. That's what it is. And that is, to me, one of the beautiful things about the traditional hero is, the ability to win a love. And there'll be a lot more complexity. This ain't an easy story. But to be able to win the love of a woman who is, worthy of it, sure, but also who is worth having, worth knowing in your life. And that's what it is. And if I don't paint her in such a way that she is sexy and beautiful and plays off of him and his sort of roughness, and his kind of, capacity for brutality, then it's not going to work. And so there a lot of that is in the painting. A lot of that is in how you handle the media. And that for me is what makes sharing the process so fun, because painting. I remember I was looking back at some of my my old comics recently, as I do, as well as some of my new comics that I've been getting. I got First Man 2 Learning Curve the other day, and I was reading that, had a great time with it. Sent a message to Andy Smith and said, hey man, love the book, appreciated it. It was great. And I was thinking about how Todd McFarlane drew Mary Jane back in the day. And there was this quality of Mary Jane where every now and again you get a Todd drawing where her eyes were just not level. But you got her. You got the essence of her. You knew she was there for Spider-Man, for Peter Parker. That's what it is. The male gaze. Indeed. But it's so funny, right? I think I've thought about that a lot in academia, and I have to tell you, I don't think that the people who coined that term, right, even understand what it is, the depths of it. It is something that is a force of nature. Yeah, Madeline Smith was a Bond girl. She had a great face and other things. Indeed, she did. What's up, Julie Pascal? Great to see you here. We're streaming right in a normal time. I don't know if you're in the middle of a bunch of different stuff, but it's great to see you. At least it's not in the middle of the night. But there's there's something about it, which is why I kind of, I resist certain definitions of what people like based on the most simple interpretations, right, of people, the most basic terms. These come to mind. And I think, no, like that's not what it is. There's this connection with character and the characters that we fall in love with and the people that we fall in love with in real life, that they are not, they can't just be exchanged or substituted for other people. That's the whole thing about it. And I mean, you see this on virtually every level with people, and how we connect to things. Yeah, in that case, that's right. That's right. Well, it's that always cracked me up. I actually taught a class once where I was talking about that, and the students thought that's what I was saying the entire time. It was that's the stuff that makes for legends and great stories later on. But when I'm working on this character, the biggest thing about her is that I want her to be innocent. I want her to also be sexy. I want her to be strong in terms of her faith and her beliefs. I just love that this is in frame right now, and that's a big part of it for me. Is building this character into something. Hang on one second here. I'm gonna move this so that you can see where I'm working. There we go. And that's a big part of it. You know what I mean? And so when I work on any painting or I work on any project, the purpose of it is, to bring these things convincingly to life. So I've got a photo off to the side right now of the Collinson twins in their Twins of Evil outfit that they wore. And I'm using that, which is the basis for so many of my diaphanous nightgowns, as they are known. And using that, I have to paint the figure without it so that I can make that transparency quality work as well as I want it to. Thank you so much, Stephen Rockwood. That means a lot to me. I appreciate it. It's a very weird thing to do, and it's an incredible blessing to have a supportive audience and a supportive group of backers making all of this possible. Because I was watching a movie the other day, and I almost really liked it. It's a movie called The Northman, and I almost loved it. It was solid. It was definitely, an interesting watch, but there was an element of it at the end, which I'm not going to ruin for anybody who doesn't likes to not know how movies go. But there was an element of it that felt a little bit like a current cliche of our time. And whether it was intended or not, whether that was the reason for the way the story went, it was almost impossible for me to not just be taken out of the story a little bit by it. And now the same thing can happen with something that goes against the conventions of the time we're in. But I will say, for me personally, that I would much rather be shocked or surprised that things defied what I expect everything to do than to just kind of go, oh, okay, well, I figured it would have to happen something to that effect. So that's one of those things that why I'm not actively trying to make a counter statement or anything like that. It's more I'm trying to make something that is not governed by and driven by certain cliches of narrative and response that we're in right now. And so that's kind of one of the things that governs this, and I'm painting completely off frame. Lovely. There you go. So I just love that. Hey, what's up, Victor? How you doing? How do you make such smooth color transitions, Victor? Good question. A big part of it is, and the main chief part of it is, water to pigment ratio and the viscosity of the paint. So what I'm doing when you see me do things like this is I've got the paper is not completely dry, or I should say the surface is not completely dry because at this point it's paint. And I get an amount of water to pigment that I know will be able to move. So if I don't get the paint to the proper viscosity, it's going to drag and dry out. If I make it too wet, it won't coat and it'll break apart. So for me, the biggest part of this is getting that paint viscosity where it needs to be. I just realized I was covering up what you were trying to see. So let's do this. We'll angle that out a little bit more. And then you can see sort of how I do it. So I've got a wash of wet paint there. And so now I know I can glaze that back. And then just when I have that viscosity right, I can just sort of wash it over the figure and start to build up that transparent gown, which is going to be a combination of graying back the figure underneath, like that, and then also putting in contrast notes, both highlights and shadows that are going to go over it. So I'll show you in a sec what I mean once I get that to kind of dry a little bit more. Not much. It doesn't take much because acrylic paint, the interesting thing about heavy body acrylic paint, but acrylic paint in general, is it doesn't want to have water in it. It is actively fighting to the water to dry so it can dry out every minute you're using it. So learning how to use it in a way to where you use that to your advantage is a big part of understanding how to use acrylics. And so for me, I like to use them like a little bit more like watercolors as I move them. Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry, Stephen Rockwood. Don't worry. This will not be a book devoid of that, of nudity by any stretch. I was looking at one of my art heroes, Richard Corbin, the other day. I was looking at Den, and I was also looking at, I think it was Den, and I forget what the name of the story was, but it was the first book. And I was thinking, well, I don't think I'm going to go that far, but it's nice to know that I can at some point with this story if I want to. It's just got, it's such a great independent comic book. It's everything I want to be able to do. Awesome. Does she know this werewolf? Yes, she does. Well, she's just met him. This werewolf raised Nosfero and adopted him when they both escaped from the clutches of the vampire that had imprisoned him and had become the imprisoners of that werewolf. And this character's name is, I came up with it today. If I said if we hit $50,000, I'm going to name this character, pay homage to John Malin with this character's name. And I just figured out the way I'm going to do it. So, that was yesterday. So that was last evening. And so I've got that name in my back pocket. So if we get there, if we get to that total, then that's going to be something that we unlock. So we've unlocked the 2 trading cards. We've unlocked the bookmark. And we've unlocked, what else have we unlocked? A print. Everybody's going to get a print of the double page spread. I believe it is. Or the cover. I think it's the cover. I'll have to look up and see which one that is, because either way, I've got the art. That's all that matters. That's all I'm thinking. One thing at a time, right? But yeah, I really want to unlock that because I think it would be a fitting tribute and it would be fun. It'd be fun for those of you. I mean, you guys have been so in on this process. That's the fun thing about this channel is I really get to let you guys in on the process of making this book. So do you see what I mean? If she doesn't know the werewolf before, she is definitely seeing all of him now. Yeah, she is. Yeah, she is. Yeah, his name is John. Genius. Yeah, absolutely. He was raised by the wolves. Oh, no, pink hair. Don't worry. That hair's not Stan. It's not happening. His name is Malin. She doesn't know this werewolf in the biblical sense, though. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, exactly. You know, she's, I got so many. I do my best, guys, to not make all of the jokes in my head, just most of them. But yeah. So yeah, she's, because you said that too, I just have to point this out. Not the the latter thing, but the former. I have to now knock that back because it's driving me crazy. It's the underpainting, and I plan on doing it anyway. But I've got to now I've got to really knock that back because it's gonna eat at me. There we go. There we go. I love paint. It is. I used to hate color and I used to hate painting because I loved to draw things in pencil, and then I got into drawing things in ink. And every time color came into the process, it's where I made a mistake or where the work went to hell in a handbasket. And that started with crayons that went all the way through everything: paints, crayons, watercolors, all of it. And now that I've kind of, gotten over that and learned how to paint, I just can't imagine it was ever not a part of my game. It's funny that way how things work. Let me see what else we've got here. Any questions here? Let's see here. I'm running a special on blades coated in wolfsbane. Guys, get them now. Hail Mighty Geek Studios, by the way. Yeah, absolutely. In fairness, your line work is pretty sweet too, Sean. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I'm a comic, artist and comic guy through and through. Dave Stevens was, one of my heroes, and so as was Todd McFarlane. So line is always going to be in my work. Like I want to do like Alphonse Mucha did and like Mobius did. I want to do work that has painted lines in it. And so, yeah, it will never fully leave the stuff that I do. It's got to be there. I love comics way too much, Yeah, indeed. Yeah, indeed. It's one of those things that, yeah, I mean, when I'm painting, and you can see, because Stephen Rockwood, you were talking about, oh no, I got to cover that. I got to cover her rear end up. And the thing about it for me was that it is covered, but it is not covered. Hence the nightgown. And that's the kind of thing that I'm able to do effectively in this painting. And that's what's so fun about it. Yeah, I love painting. I love painting when everything is working out, but it's a forgiving medium. Yeah, it is. It is a forgiving medium. You're right. Let's see here. You sound like my niece when it comes to color. She refuses to do color on anything she draws. Well, this is why I always say that do not worry where you are as an artist. Don't stop in the middle of that learning process worrying that everything and everything that you're able to do is the limits of what you can do. The more bad experiences we have with painting and with mixing color, the harder it becomes to go back and approach it. But it just takes one person getting you over that fear and giving you an approach to it to change the game for you. And so I always love to share that I was afraid of painting and I was afraid of mixing color and adding color to my work because I hope that somebody will see that will go, oh, okay, maybe I should give it another try. And I think that's important. I think it's important to remember that we're not at the end of our learning process until we're done. And as long as we've got air in our lungs, we can continue to learn and we can continue to, grow as people and support, our growth by putting good stuff in our head and not, awful stuff. And I think that's what really imaginative work allows for. It puts good stuff in your head and gives you a better sense of the direction you're going in. And there's something really that I've always loved about, buying the artwork of, people whose process I see. I remember when the comic book greats videos were coming out and Stan Lee, would interview Todd McFarlane or those guys. And there was this one called Facts and Illusions, where at the end of it, he was working on a page from Spawn issue 5. And I remember when I got that issue out and I was like, oh, wow, I watched it in process. It was really exciting to me, man. I loved it. So yeah, it's always going to be a part of it for me is showing this process and trying to make sure that I'm showing you guys things that brighten the day and inspire you. Same thing goes with the book and same thing goes with the story. There we go. Start to rough in some of those initial values that we've got right there. And this will change and this will shift, but for right now, the main thing is for me to understand where those shapes are going to go. You see here. All that I know is that I know nothing, Socrates. With this mindset, there is nothing you can't learn. Absolutely right. Yeah. I mean, this whole thing is a pretty exciting and interesting experience. And, one of my favorite things my wife always says, and she has this up in the front of her classroom, she teaches it says, begin with an open mind. And beginning with an open mind doesn't mean you forget every single thing that you know by any stretch. But what it does mean is that take your time when coming to finite conclusions about what possibilities are out there, and maybe approach those conclusions with a little bit of nuance, and you'll do all right. And I think it's that, it's that idea of I'm not this or I'm not that. If I'm being honest with you guys, I took real comfort when I made the decision to give up in pursuing comics in a real fashion, and art for that matter. I went through a period where I almost did that. And that's hard for people watching me work right now probably to understand. But I got to a point where I was just, this is, it's not the comics will break your heart kid kind of thing. It was more the, I just don't think there's, I want to find an audience for this, and that audience does not exist. And what I've learned since is that with the first 2 art books starting a couple of years ago, is that audience just was not something I could connect with until the advent of the technology we have right now. So sometimes there are certain things in life that we run into that we don't intellectualize our way out of. Sometimes time solves things, and time solved what role my art was going to play. I had made the determination that it wasn't going to play any role going forward. I was going to do my work, and I was going to be fine with that. And I felt very lucky to have the life I have. I do. I've always felt that no matter what was going on. Sometimes it's just, it's something that's helped me to survive and to just keep going. But this is something that I've learned a lot from this. I will say that much. I've learned a ton. Hey, Shanth, is that 50K to a werewolf named Malin posted on your campaign? Not yet. It's going to be. And Rob sent me a message last night that he goes, the new work you're doing is so good. Get that up on the page. And so, yeah, I'm going to be doing a big update on the page because I want to post the trading card art that I have so far too as well. So yes, it is going to be up there. Well, the trick was I didn't know what that name was going to be, so I felt a little reluctant until last night when I suddenly was like, oh, of course, that's what it's going to be. And it's cool. But it's the same, guys. It's the same thing with the super chat video I made. It's like how do I word it? It's a very weird thing to create from this standpoint, right? Where when you do something, sometimes it's a subtractive process. So I was looking at the videos I had, and I was trying to make a video to play with super chats, just like I was trying to make a video to do for the Waffle Lodge intro. I mean, it's all the same challenge. Or let's talk about it this way. When I do the intros for Aaron Lopresti or for RT Bear or anybody who is in Comicsgate Kings who I've done intros for, or the Shane Davis Let Your Tiger Out, I only know when it's not it. And when I find it, I go, that's it. But it's usually after trying a bunch of other things that aren't working. And it was the same thing with that name. It's the same thing with any elements of this story. And it was the same thing with the super chat video where I went, well, I don't know what it is, but it's certainly not this. That was basically the gist of it. And then I had to do, and then I was like, well, can I use this for the show I do with Vaughn, the show where we talk about horror movies and where we will soon be painting these head sketches. That's a great idea to do the campaign head sketches. And when it worked, it all just started to come together for me in a way that I enjoyed. I don't know if it's going to work, but you never know. Let's see here. Teflon Ron. Yes. That and probably good to see you, my friend. Was catching up with After Kangs and sadly missed out on an hour of live show. Oh God, has it been an hour already? Holy cow. But no, not to worry. These things will be available. The stream will be available, and best to catch up. Cause I caught a little of that show last night. I was writing and I was working on some other stuff, painting. So I couldn't go in there. I'd be too distracted to paint. But I was watching a bit of it, and yeah, it was great seeing everybody in there. And yeah, love that show, guys. Love that show. Always good to see. And I forget, the days all blend together. I'm like, what were they talking about last night that I was thinking about? And then I go, was that a week ago? Was that yesterday? Was that the day before? You know, that's kind of how it goes. That's how it goes in CG. You know, it's because I was watching Gabe's show. I was watching 80s Made Consumer. He was doing a watch party of Men at Work, one of my favorite movies, and a movie I watched and have quoted as a kid. I just love that movie, and it just cracks me up. Keith David is incredible in that. His comedy is just incredible. He's what an amazing actor and a treasure. But yeah, I was watching that, and then I was watching Comics Get Kings on Gabe's channel, and then I watched Post Kangs. Watched a bunch of stuff last night. Sometimes it's nice to kind of just work and listen to what people are up to. There we go. Here we are. Because, again, we are not going to shy away from the female form. We are not going to shy away from the creatures that we paint and from this world we're building. And that's the way it is. You know, that's right. I was listening to Choke Out talking. That's right. I do remember that. I don't remember specifically, but yeah. Let's see here. Choke Out finally learned how to share. That's right. See, when you can share on screen, right, it makes everything different. Scottsley, there was no Comicsgate Kings last night. They had Comoxgate instead. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Listen, I can't throw stones in the Spelling Glass house. Everybody, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. It is greatly appreciated. It does help with the algorithm. It helps to get the word out about what we're doing, and it helps to get the word out about Nosfero. And, you know, that's, you know, this channel, you know, Shanth Enjeti Art, which, you know, started with those art books, and Nosfero is the continuation of that. It depends on, you know, me always getting the word out and working towards it. And you guys have been doing an awesome job with it. I thank you so much for everything you do. Hitting the like button, subscribing, tuning in, watching. I would not be in the situation I'm in right now to even worry about what that, you know, thank you for your super chat video is going to look like. I mean, that only happens if you get monetized. And I remember it was like 1:40. It was 3 a.m. but I checked my email at 1:40 or something like that when I saw that, and I was just, you should have seen the look on my face. You could have knocked me over with a feather when I saw that. I was like, what the heck? Because it's just been so. I don't want to say it's all been so fast, because it's only been 45 years of my life, but it's something that I could not have fathomed, you know, when I was launching this book and when I'm doing all of the, you know, the work for different CG books that I'm doing pinups for. It's a shock, man. It's a total shock. There we go. I love Lamp. I love painting, because I love things like that where I think about, it's off frame. I love having it in frame and not being a moron is another thing. But look right there, like where that white is right there on that angle, and I leave that dark. It feels like light's moving across, casting a shadow there, and then suddenly that highlight is breaking through. And those are the things that happen in aesthetics that I love to see in other people's work. Those moments where something fortunate happens with the value and with the light that just brings you into the piece a little bit more and brings it to life for you. And there you go. Let me see here. Let me adjust my glasses here. Hey, what's up, Max? How are you doing? Great to see you. Let me see here. Nosfero the Cryptwalker, guys. Yes, back it now. And thank you. Speaking of backs, there's Laurel right there in this illustration. Work and listen to streams such as the life. Laugh out loud. You're absolutely right. It is. It's a great life to have. Very fortunate. Have Mrs. Enjeti check out Terry Moore's YouTube channel, because he does the best slice of life comics without being preachy. Very cool. I will. Yeah, Terry Moore is great. I remember, I think I met him at, was it at a Baltimore comic convention? I might have met him at. Teflon Run, I had no idea about the HH Hotel murder house. Yes. Oh, are you serious? I was talking about that on a stream at some point. Boy, is that creepy. Holy cow. Yeah, there's a comic that Charlie should tackle. Let me see here. Laugh out loud, Steve Carell. Absolutely. Somebody threw away a perfectly good wife. God, jeez. No. Max Santiago Hill. Oh my gosh. Lord Ravener coming in. Shout with a super chat. Now I have to play the video and leave your name up there. All right. Lord Ravener, this is for you. Let me get this to happen. This is the first time this video has been played. Hail, Lord Ravener. And enjoy the premiere, hopefully it works, of this brief thank you. It is well deserved.
Charge!
There you go, my friend. There are the Waffle Lodge cheerleaders. Yeah, everybody's saying hail. Good at Shanth Enjeti watching your stream and then catching up with Death Note anime. Very cool. That's a good day right there. Can't complain. So yes, the version for Horror at the Waffle Lodge will be slightly different. But that's the one I have for this channel. So thank you, Lord Ravener. And what a great one. Yeah. Charge indeed. Yes. And yeah, it was worth it. Yes. I hope it was, because that's the goal. I love the cheerleaders. Yeah. By the way, guys, if you go back and watch that, one of the things that you're going to see is, hail back at you, Max Santiago. Yeah. It's, if you go back and look at it, I painstakingly frame by frame, put the Waffle Lodge, CG Waffle Lodge logo on them. So they're actually wearing a uniform that has that at the top. And that took a little bit of time to do because it was 80 frames. And so I went through and just adjusted it because I didn't have a motion tracker or any motion tracking or anything to help me with it in terms of AI. So I just did that frame by frame for 80 frames because I just want everything to feel sort of customized. It's the same thing with the stuff I do for Ethan, the Comicsgate King stuff and all that other stuff. I don't want it to feel like you've seen it other places, but I want you I want other people to pick it up and want to go, oh man, did you see this? Then I've kind of done my job there. And it's the same thing with the Waffle Lodge, and it's the same thing with Nosfero. If you can get this in another comic book that's being put out by the mainstream, then I haven't done my job. And I know the mainstream well enough to know that you're not going to see something like this in there. Because it's just got so many things that are beautiful that people are afraid of now in storytelling. And I think actually people are afraid of art, and the fine arts has been afraid of beauty for a very long time. It's sort of the kryptonite for the cynical, and that's really what it comes down to. Ooh, my glasses just practically fell off again. Let's see here. I love the cheerleaders. Hail. It was believed that H.H. Holmes was Jack the Ripper. Are you serious? Well, I mean, they had a similar taste, that's for sure, I mean, that stuff is, holy cow. Yeah, that stuff is absolutely unbelievable when you hear it. And those times and those kinds of things all seem to come out of similar time periods, of decadence, of nihilism that comes out of that kind of, decadent thinking. And self-obsession, and that really is the thing that we're trying to come out of. And what Nosfero needs to do as a book for me, or at least what it has to point the direction towards, is that way of the way of good, and that good is as strong as what am I saying? As strong. Good is more powerful than evil, and life and the commitment to and the pursuit of living a life is stronger than any kind of nihilistic doctrine. And that's something that obviously Jordan Peterson affects change on a lot better than I ever will. But the same thing could be said of Joseph Campbell and C.S. Lewis and any of the other people who influence the stuff I do. That's a huge part of it for me. That's what I love about it. And the idea that sexiness can't be a part of that. The idea that camaraderie can't be, a part of that. The idea that arguing can't be a part of that. All those kinds of things that naturally happen. They're all part of the human experience. But this kind of commitment to these things transcends all of that. Good transcends all of that. We are put on this planet to, in so many ways, to experience the beauty of the world around us, as well as it contextualizes the horror, and it's not about a choice, and it doesn't matter because we don't have that choice anyway. And the belief that Campbell used to talk about, that some have, that I forget who the person who says this said the famous life is something that should not have been attitude of things, which I understand. I mean, in the way it was being explored, it was It was meant to draw sort of fascination, attention to it. But I think that life is, and this is the way, there's a way to experience it that is uplifting, and there's a way to experience that really reduces you down to something that makes it untenable to go on. And the least our heroic works can do is to not propagate that. What is up, Wolfie? Great to see you here. Holy cow, the chat's moving. Hail, Shanth, beauty is not egalitarian, indeed, and that scares the ugly progressives, really regressives. Yes, indeed, and illiberal. The Cold War inspired so many genres of stories that it was fun. Yes, nice. Not that I needed to be reminded how awesome Keith David is, but watching Men at Work, an 80s made consumer last night, his performance was glorious. You're absolutely right. Isn't it the best? He's such a brilliant actor. Let's see here. Hey, Cranberry Langers, hope your day is going awesomely. So you mean to tell me Jack the Ripper took his show on the road to the World's Fair? That guy, that would make an interesting movie. Yeah, I think Charlie's London's going to make that happen at some point. She's got to. That's right up her alley. Well, you can say that or oh my God, why am I so tired? Mandy Summers. Well, you can't show that that quality is objective, ruins their perspective and their beliefs. Exactly. Afternoon, folks. Hey, afternoon, real Sean Crummell. Great to see you. Yeah, I mean, well, isn't that interesting, right? It's when your chief belief is a self-concept that flies in the face of all evidence, you can either change it, grow, and let the new facts in and let reality in, or you can rage against reality. And I think that's the real thing that you see people dealing with. They can't stand the idea that it's that they can't bend reality to their will, and that's what people refer to as injustice, which is when you start referring to that as injustice, that's a major problem. And because it's really a need to be authoritarian and to control things. And in a lot of ways, the vampire and the creatures of the story who want to bring about oblivion, they don't know how to live. They only know how to be dead. And so they deeply hate and resent that there are people who every day get up and embrace this life, and it's their job to show them that it's pointless. That's what they're after. And Laurel is a character who is, in her humble way and in her sincere beauty, just seems to have come to this on her own, that she just knows how to live. To her, getting up in the morning and living is something that is easy for her, and in spite of, I don't mean because her life is easy. What I mean is it's easy for her because it's strong in her. It's built solid. So even after this horrific experience, her first thought is to not say, well, why did this awful thing happen to me? I mean, when she was taken by these people to be sacrificed, her father was murdered. And so think about that for a minute. And she doesn't say, why me? Why this? This is now. Every day, every minute, every hour is a blessing, and I was rescued, and there must be a reason. And that is, or they must live a purposeful life as a result in gratitude. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. Nature is so unfair that we can grow. Nature is unfair so that we can grow and evolve. Well said, Mighty Geek Studios. That's their goal. They are their own gods. They control reality. My truth. Yeah, well, and that's Tyson covered that really well. Oh, damn. Glad you're all good. Perfect. Protect yourself, homie. Indeed. Yes. Hail Shanth. Hail chat. Hail First Watch Studios. Hail CG. Indeed. Rock Crin. Haha. Great line. Indeed. Evil will do, bro. Thanks, man. Or not evil. I can't read. I need my glasses. Will do, bro. Thanks, man. Evil will do. I should put that in my book. Max Santiago. My premise is that pop culture has to embrace nihilism when you're currently see all of our institutional, social, financial, etc. artificially being decayed. Then we are prone to accept whatever. You're absolutely right. It's to demoralize. Will Nosfero have their own World's Fair type story? No, God, no. That terrifies me. And yes, that story shook me. New solutions they'll come up with, like the Great Reset. Well, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. It's if all people have to do is recognize that the idea is the end, the aim is to get everybody to believe that everything is as pointless and hopeless as they feel their existence is and as they feel they are. And what a tragedy, because as I was, talking about, earlier, and as we often discuss, at any minute, a person needn't be, a slave to that belief. They can turn around at any minute. And it's a fascinating thing because it can be terrifying, it can be scary, but to make that decision. But I think most of the people who are the most tortured by nihilism are the people who desperately want to believe it and cannot fully convince themselves of it. And that's the real tragedy, is that they're at war with themselves and they externalize that war onto other people. But let's face the facts. If someone is not optimistic and believes there's no point to something, great, go about their day. It's the need to not be able to believe it unless everyone sees it and is nihilistic that is the road to hell. And so for me, when I'm doing this work, I'm not interested in sharing nihilism with anybody because one, the fruit is bitter, but also it's not something that it's not something that I have seen that's a possible belief to hold dogmatically. Because to be honest with you, there's a point, I think, in time when I went through a nihilistic phase. I think a lot of people probably experienced that in their youth and in their teens. And it's not for lack of trying. What is scary is that, like any absolutist view of things that lacks nuance, it just takes, a handful of examples of it coming apart before it's untenable. And that's the way it works. Hey, what's up, Son of Liberty Radio? Great to see you. Back cleavage. Indeed. There's always back cleavage. Baby's got back. There you go. Muttman, what's up? Hey, Fowler, doing fantastic. Congrats on Tiger Blue. Indeed, congrats on Tiger Blue. I guess monsters aren't allowed to have a World's Fair. Yes, they aren't. Muttman, how have you been? Yo, Shanth, painting is looking dope. Thank you, Muttman. I tip my hat to you, my friend. I appreciate it. That's everything to me, right? Let's see here. That's why they get violently angry when you question their beliefs on reality. Yeah, because they don't believe them. It's rough. It's one thing to escape nihilism, but quite another thing to help someone out of nihilism. It can be hard to show people that life does in fact have meaning. And you're right. The trick for me in thinking about this story is to what's the word I'm looking for? When I was writing this and I was working on this story, one of the things that became really important to me is to present it straightforward and not, and I see this in my editing process a lot of the story, and not see it as an argument that I'm making, because I really do think that I'm telling a story, not making an argument, because I don't know that anyone is ever truly persuaded by force to anything. And you see this all the time when people try to persuade any of us by force. We're like, no, I can't go that way. I'm going to resist, because if you had a point, you wouldn't need to force it on me. If you had something that was of value to me, you wouldn't require so much force to make it happen. And so when I'm writing a story like this, some of the people I've known who've had the biggest impact on my life when I was going through, that process of stepping away from nihilism, all they did was in their presence. All they did was through being good people and just being present, being open, and not trying to forcibly open my hand, to accept something. And that's key, man. That's a huge part of it. Let me adjust my glasses here. Son of Liberty, that's Activision is one thing. Eric Weathers' YouTube channel. Yes, guys, subscribe to Eric Weathers' channel. I will be on there tonight for CG Team, assuming we have one. The weed of crimes bears bitter fruit, says the Shadow. Indeed. My philosophy lacks nuance. All I want is AAT. Hey, listen, you have a home here. Back to work. Ciao, fellows. Enjoy the stream. Thank you, Cranberry Language, for being here. And probably during your nihilistic phase, was that before or after your cool mullet? Ooh, wow. That was after, when I surrendered the mullet. That's when nihilism came to my heart. I'm making the argument that I'm telling a story. Yes. Yeah, that's right. Oh my God. Yeah, nihilism is lame indeed. Yeah, I think Razor Fist and I both agree with that. Stop making that dress less transparent. Random Granderson, cool mullet is obviously a lie. Oh my God, you guys are cracking me up. Yeah, it's sort of funny. One of the things that was really important to me during, my sort of evolution in my thinking was the lessons that I learned from my comics and the lessons that I learned from pop culture. And I was saying to someone just the other day, I don't know how I would have done if I had such, nihilistic and such, what's the word I'm looking for? There we go. Such nihilistic and such cynical entertainment when I was growing up, because that entertainment that I had was so instrumental in giving me the broader picture, outside of that limited way of seeing things. And so, yeah, that's a huge part of it. That's a huge part. Let's see here. Nothing, obviously a lie. Well, you have a 50-50 shot. Either, oh my God, you're killing me. Either nothing we do has meaning, or everything we do has meaning. Both are terrifying realities to think about. I believe the latter, but still terrifying. Yes, indeed. Hi, everybody. Hey, Dan Lawless, Gross Point Dank in the house. It's great to see you, man. I was watching you on stream last night while I was working. And yeah, it was great. Great to see. Shanth Enjeti would have commenced. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, not in the cards for me. It has been confirmed that Rini is a closet. I can't. Oh God, I learned so much. Bane Mailer, the rat tail is the reigning champ. That's right. That's right. It's like, I was like Samson. You cut that, it's over. Yes, subscribe to Dan Lawless's channel, everybody. There is the link right there. Please do check it out. Hail Dan Lawless. Let me face the peril. No, it's too perilous indeed. Hola at Dan Lawless, says Max Santiago. Muttman says, Shanth, funny enough, I think nihilism is one of the most problematic things in mainstream comics. No greater purpose, no higher power. Well, sure. I mean, it is a, how do I word this? It is an incredibly difficult thing for some people to really believe that if they stepped up to the plate and did the things, contributed in the ways they are capable of contributing to this world, that not only would they improve their state, but they would make this world a better place, that it happens at the individual level. Think about how completely empty it must feel to desperately want to believe something good about yourself and be so frightened by that, or be so frightened by the fear of it not being true that you're paralyzed and it wins you lose anyway because you're so frightened to accept or at least explore that possibility. I mean, to be honest, one possibility doesn't require exploring. You already have it. If you think everything is pointless, then you're good. There's not a lot more work to do after that. But if there's even a small chance that you could be wrong, and then you would have this opportunity, to find that so terrifying is such an awful prison. And I wouldn't wish it on anyone. I would not wish it on anyone. But for the grace of God, go I, is a quote I think of frankly. But yes, you're right. Dan is a great artist, no doubt. First Watch Studios. All right, subscribe to Dan's channel. Excellent, First Watch Studios. Thank you and hail. We appreciate that. We appreciate that very much. I don't judge people for how they make money. If Rainey wants, it's okay as long as, oh yeah. There you go. Okay, you guys are killing me. How to Draw Comics by People watch me talking, man. It's you guys get to watch me come apart on stream. Yes, and hail indeed. Hail Shelf. Hey, hail Ellie. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Let's see here. It's a selfish outlook. Nothing good happened to me. So why should I put any good out into the world? Rini is not. Yes. So here's the thing about it, right? It's what if I can be for this world, or I can be for people what I so desperately needed? And what if I could be that for myself? That is a real beautiful adventure worth taking. And it's very tragic when the mind conjures that up as a thought, and there is another frightened voice in there that says, no, it can't be possible. That's why one of my favorite quotes of all time is, be the adult you needed when young. It's because I really do believe that, we have the opportunity, if we see wrong in things, we have the ability to live out right as best as we can, and that we don't require anyone's permission to do so except for ourselves. And sometimes that is hard permission to get access to. And it's the work of our lives. It's the work of our lives. I remember when the real reason to send submissions to Marvel and DC was not to get a job, but to get criticism on your work and ways to improve. You're absolutely right. I got those when I was 11 and 12. It was very nice. The editors, I had an editor write back to me. I was like 11 when I sent the letter. So he probably saw my handwriting on it and thought, oh God, I better open this and send a nice letter to this kid. It was sweet of him. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I can't overstate that. And please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't, guys. I do appreciate it. But I do think I think about that a lot. And I think if I was 100% callous towards that, I don't know if I could write fiction. I don't know if I could write about these characters, because it is the hell of the villain. It's the hell of the malevolent. It's the hell of the hopeless and the nihilist. Is that place where you just refuse to believe that, you could ever, not only that you could ever, it's the refusal to believe you could ever be worth more than nothing, that you could be worth more than the total being zero. And that's powerful, man. That's rough. Let's see here. Hey, we're having two big Comicsgate. Oh God, WF matches tonight. What is that called? Is it Wrestling Federation? I'm told I know what it stands for. My brain's gone. Match tonight, Breaking Rad, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Please tune in. Now, my man, is that going to be on your channel? And if it is, can someone post the link to it? Let's see here. Last night on Gabe's channel, Mike Barron said, strong men make good times make weak men, and weak men make bad times. Absolutely right. Nihilism destroyed fine art in the 20th century. The classical realists were all forced out in favor of modern art. Those realists then went on to commercial art and illustration to earn a living. Yes, there's a great book called The Unchanging Arts by Gowans, and it is worth a read. It breaks it all down. Get Dan Lawless cover of the giant-sized Two-Fisted Manly Tales. I know I've got mine, number 1, and right there on the Indiegogo link. Yes, please do that, guys. Improvement is no longer a virtue today. If you want to get better, it's on you to get yourself where you want to be. Nobody will push you as hard as you can push yourself. Well said. And I will also say this, that it is the best thing about, a location like Rock Bottom is the fact that you can only go up. And so for so many of these people who have lost their hope, I want to say to them, guys, you can't fall out of the basement. Get on your feet. You can't fall out of the basement. You can go and do things. You can. I always think about this. Whenever I back a Comicsgate book, one of the things I think about is a lot of these contributions together, these small contributions have a huge impact on the artists that they're going to. They do. Every time we do something like this, it moves things forward. Things get better. And it's a little bit of degrees of change over time that move mountains. And that's what we're trying to do here, We're all going to eventually die anyway, so you might as well take a chance to pursue your dreams. Yes, and to take a chance to live and let death take care of itself. It always does. Yeah, Breaking Rad. There's the link. There it is right there, guys. Check out that YouTube channel. They are going to be having a match tonight, a CGWF match, or 2 matches or several matches. So do check it out. Jim Shooter started writing for DC Comics when he was a young teen. Let's see. Wrote, is that what it says? Some seminal legion of superhero stories, Sun Eater and whatnot. Yeah, there you go. How to Draw Comics with Dan Lawless. I'm not going to die. I'm going to be preserved as a brain in a jar and make snarky comments forever. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. That is not my plan, but I am not going to judge your journey, my friend. I'm not going to do it. You go on with your bad self, indeed. But yeah, I mean, to anyone who says, you know, you can't do painted comics, you can't make beautiful things, there's no audience for it, you need to do this or do that, I point to Comicsgate and I say, no, I will do that. I will make artwork that is going to inspire people, and I will find the people who care about these things, who care to see artwork that is uplifting and affirming, but mainly beautiful and adventurous and heroic. That's what's going to happen. Hey, what's up, Jay Lee? Speaking of writers in the trenches, there you go. Jay Lee, good afternoon to you, my friend. Yeah, Jim Shooter interviewed on on the Baron Earls show tomorrow. There you go. God, my reading is getting worse as I get, as I feel the sting of the day. Good afternoon. When a brain in a jar does comedy, are you allowed to call it stand-up? It's stand-up adjacent, Random McGranderson. It's stand-up adjacent. Remember that. Who are we to define standing up? I ask you. Keep it subjective. Let's see here. I'm going to go in and erase that out so I can go in and start to put in a little bit of a warm for this underpainting right here. So we mix that up. And there we go. Here we go. That's what's going to start to give us, the life in the face of this figure. It's starting to wash in those warms where the light, goes through the skin and then sort of creates the warms and the shadows. So you get that cooler reflection in the highlights. That's the light being reflected. That's the color you're seeing. But in the shadows where the light goes through the skin, it's like it's going through a filter and it's coming out warmth, the color of whatever the color of the skin is. So you typically see a lot of warmth in that. And that's what I'm kind of doing with the worms in this right now. There we go. There she is. She's starting to come together. So let me see here. Let me adjust my glasses here. Let's see. Oh, let me see here. Doing good. Check Twitter. Book 3 cover is done, and Gabe did the colors to it. Awesome, Jaylee. I will. Have not made it public yet. Excellent. Don't worry, I won't share it. Random McGranderson, I'm going to let Twitter know that comedy has these coded terms that are ableist and they need to be canceled ASAP. Please do. Although it seems like the winds are changing there. Paint is much more forgiving than I thought. I've never painted before. Yes, if you get nothing else from this stream, and that is always possible that you get nothing from this stream, but I do my best. It is that paint is forgiving. It is forgiving. It is, you can be introduced to it in such a way that feels unforgiving, but it's not the paint. It is the way that people are thinking about it. And for me, that's the thing I love about paint, is that it is so forgiving. It's just as forgiving as digital. Now, here's where people run into things. When I talk about the water to pigment ratio, the thing that people are running into when they're painting is they get their paint really, really thick. And then it's very hard to work over top of it if that's something that you need to do. But in digital, you can work over top of it endlessly. Well, if you can control your medium so it doesn't get so completely out of hand and there's not so much paint there, then you have the ability to do anything you can do in digital and traditional. It's no different. And so if remember that when you're working, And that's why it's so important. I've taught more people how to paint than just about anybody I know, taking them from zero and teaching them how to paint as a teacher. And that was the thing I took it as my mission to help people to see and understand, is that it's there's ways of working that allow it to be a much different experience than what most people have their first experience painting with. There we go. All right, so we start to put a little bit of worms under the eyelid there. I'll go back and make those smaller in a sec. Or I should say, I don't know in a sec, but soonish. In one of the next phases I do. So let's see here. I'll rough in some of that form right there. There we are. So we're just kind of roughing in the structure right there. Gosh, my glasses are falling off my crazy nose here. Some paint is more forgiving. Water media are not forgiving. It's hard mode paint. Yes. Let's see here. Random McGranderson. I am James Lee. There you go. Yes, the author. Is it Jay Lee or Jay Lee? There you go. Yes, James Lee, indeed. Author and kindred spirit, dare I say. Jay Lee, I know if that's a joke or not, but welcome, James. That's right. When you're working in gouache and you accidentally reactivate previous layers and hate your life. Yeah, I do have those moments sometimes, though, less and less. And that's why one of the biggest things that I would try to teach people and that I try to do in my own work when I'm working in gouache is to get to that point to where those mistakes are not as catastrophic as they can be. And so I always try to approach it in a way to where it's not that I'm holding off on making decisions, quite the opposite, but I'm making decisions. And it's not that I'm making decisions with the plan that they could be easily undone, but I'm not deliberately using or having errors in technique that make it so much harder to fix things. And they're unnecessary. So it's not about being cautious. It's about being pragmatic in the approach. And these are very simple things. These are not complicated things. If I could show them to somebody in a minute and they'll go, oh, really? That's it? Yep, that's it. That's all it is. And that's actually, I mean, a lot of this stuff is obvious when explained by somebody who knows how to explain it. And of course, that's where having teachers who don't know how to explain things can be, catastrophic in terms of your understanding of certain things. Like they can always be undone. I mean, it's not like, you're ruined for life because someone explains something wrong to you, but definitely you can greatly improve your development on something by having someone who really knows what they're doing. Let me see here. Oh, I used to paint Warhammer minis. Man, now that's unforgiving and difficult. Got pretty good at it. Had a great teacher, Brian Shaw. Wow, excellent. Yeah, I love Warhammer minis. I'm fascinated by people who can do that. Rockrin, 4 times world's strongest man and minifig painter. That's talent. Indeed, Rockrin, indeed. When you get used to painting in digital, you greatly miss the select and resize and undo buttons. I know. I absolutely, I have had moments, and I'm not proud in terms of what they point to for my senility. But I have had moments where I've tried to pinch zoom on traditional artwork and I've kind of paused for a moment and gone, is this how it ends? Is this the end? I can't tell the difference between digital and traditional anymore. So yes, it does happen. It absolutely does happen. So yeah, believe me. So there we go. So now I'm going to move some of that back because what I want to do for this is I want to make sure I start to lead in with where the nose is actually going to be and start putting those shadows in there. And those will be reshaped and adjusted as need be. But for now, I'm just kind of putting them in as like little markers of like where things are going to be on the face of this character. Sort of define where the bridge of the nose is and, just it's bit by bit, just kind of roughing in those values and helping to kind of bring things out in the paint so that, you know, it gives it a more realized feel as it gets done. And so much of this stuff has been done while you guys are watching. You know, I mean, look at the progress that we're making as we work. This is every single day is this. It's me coming to my desk and working bit by bit. You know, we get it done. Let's see here. Same name, wrong guy. Many golden name and awards in the 90s. Absolutely right. I love painting Warhammer, says Scotsy. Indeed, and hail. All right, guys, I gotta get to class. Absolutely, First Watch Studios. Get to class. See you guys later. Take care of First Watch Studios. Rockrin, I choose to believe it's the same guy. Something about a 6'7", 450-pound man painting tiny minifigs fills me with glee. Hey, listen, man, it fills us all with glee. Can't pinch and zoom with minifigs either. God knows. You need a magnifying glass. At Random McGranderson, laugh out loud. I want a Adeptus Sororitas set just to have on a shelf. I don't play. They just look badass, and they do. Yeah, that's why I love the stuff that God, what's it called? The people who are now doing those, I think it's 1/18 scale Warhammer figures that are pre-painted. For people like me who cannot paint Warhammer minis to save our lives, it's great to know that you can get things like that just to have on your shelf that are so beautiful and so aesthetically amazing. I sometimes look at professional painters who do that kind of stuff online, and it's incredible to see what they do. You know, the people who are just pro level Warhammer mini painters. There we go. And this is a look that I think is starting to come together for her. She's starting to look how she needs to, which is great. And I've covered it up the whole time with forgetting to do that. Let's see. Oops, wrong day. Class is not for another 3 hours. Days get mixed up sometimes. Right on. Sometimes when I get to a Mexican restaurant, I attempt to order Warhammer units and see what happens. A large this please with extra peek out. Yeah, that'd be great. Shanth, how many years have you been painting? Oof. Well, that's easy because I didn't paint until I was older. So I started actually trying to learn how to paint and focusing on it when I turned 21. So 21 to 45. So that is 24 years, I think. 24 years of painting. But up until then, it was just drawing in pen and ink. I was terrified of color and painting. And I didn't get really adept at it, for a while. It took me a while. Darn, the comments are covering up the face. I know, I'm sorry. Let me adjust things just a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. Let's see here. Darn, comments covering the face. Well, Shanth, it's like 60, so I guess Shanth is like 60, so I guess 45 years. You're right. It's funny too, because I never actually, I can't put the camera there because then I can't see the painting. But it's not as long as I've been doing, pen and ink stuff and drawing, but it is, so it's a fairly, if you told me, put it this way, in my young adulthood, if someone had come to me and said, you are going to be a painter, you are going to teach painting, and you're going to do a fully painted comic book, I would have laughed in their face. I would have said, that's impossible. So it's recent enough for that to be the case. And then, that is the whole perk of if you are meant to be a painter and if you're meant to paint, and you keep working on artwork and you're meant to be a painter, life's going to win. And that's what this is all about. I always laugh and tell my wife, I go, I was done with being a comic book artist when I finally realized I can't even figure out a way to approach this whole thing. I'm just going to keep making my artwork and illustrating. I'm going to do these art books. They're selling all right. And I love doing it. And so let's do this. That's not how it goes. You guys came along and Comicsgate came along and actually, funny enough, Comicsgate inspired my art books, but this story, when it came into my head, I knew this was what I needed to make. I knew this was the story. Like a lot of artists and writers, there are stories you have in your head for a while, but they're not the story. They're just elements of a story that you think is one thing. And then all of a sudden, sometimes when, the caprice of the fates, or whatever else comes together, they happen. You know what the story is going to be. And that's the key for this. That's what I'm after, Let's see here. Darn, the comments coming up. Well, Shanth, It's like, yeah, Son of Liberty Radio. Yeah, he knows the story. I started painting landscapes when I went to SCAD in 1990. So 32 years. Wow. But I only do 1 or 2 a year. Gotcha. Yeah. My dearest friend is who's been texting me because he doesn't know I'm streaming. Has been a landscape painter and doing landscape paintings for a while, and he's amazing. He's an incredible artist, and I really do admire that. He introduced me to Isaac Leviton and a bunch of landscape painters that have been really influential in terms of how I view landscape and color. So yeah, he's a brilliant guy. Love landscape paintings, and I love Oga Kazuo Miyazaki's background painter too. I think he's a genius. Watched a documentary on him, and he works in those Japanese poster paints, and that stuff's amazing. That stuff is sick. There we go. There's Laurel. There she is. Just we're taking this paper, we're using these pigments that are it's amazing how sometimes, even though you guys are watching this on screen, obviously, I'm sure you guys can see the tactile physical quality of this. It still surprises me when I see it. It still surprises me to see that tactile quality of it. It's very strange, because I'm doing something that artists have done for a very long time, and just taking pigments, putting them down, and trying to bring life into this, and trying to paint things like eyes that look back at you, or that you can look into, and faces that you feel are thinking something, and characters with expressions that that you can understand what they're thinking and what they're feeling as you look at it. And so that's the thing for me that still amazes me when I see my fellow artists do it. Just like when people conjure worlds out of words, whether it's it's James Lee or any of the other authors that whose work I know. It's an amazing thing. It really is. There we go. And it wouldn't exist without you guys supporting it and backing these books. So thank you guys, for backing Nosfero. Link for that's in the description. The link for all of the books whose trailers are at the start of the stream are in the description. So if you want to know how you can get a hold of the story that this painting is in, and so many of the paintings that you're seeing here, it's in the book Nosfero. That's the book. Link below. There we go. She's starting to come together. Starting to frame her face out a little bit more. Let's see here. The groomsman's got male pattern baldness. Exactly. That's right. It's male pattern baldness is what I'm painting. You're right. And I'm experiencing. I started drawing as a kid in the 90s, primarily Ninja Turtles. That's when I started drawing comics. That was the first comic stuff I drew. And not very good. It took more seriously when I read Nolan Dixon. There you go. The Batman, Bane, Azrael storyline. Yes. Painting 2 years only, though. Excellent. Yeah, I love that stuff. That was a great time, and Nolan's the man. Got to run, Shanth. Take care, brother. See you at the next one. Take care, groomsmen. Rock, have a great rest of the day. There's the link to Nosfero, the Crypt Walker, people. Thank you for backing it. Thank you for getting us where we need to be going to. I appreciate it. Now, let me see if I can get my reference where I can see it a little better. And let's see here. I'm going to do a little bit more on this. And let me see here. And is that what I need? There. I've got so much different portrait reference of these characters. It's unreal. When you know a face and you know what it's got to look like, it's to make a character believable. It's a trick to get it to happen. And we'll go with this one. This is the best reference I got for the moment here. There we are. All right. Here we go. Do a little bit more on this thing here. So she has got very, very deep set eyes. So that's going to be the key. Are the art books being reprinted, Shanth? The campaign doesn't look like it has them available. Okay, so they're available as an add-on, and they are not being reprinted. Every art book is going to be a first printing of the art book. So they're available as add-ons. I forget which tiers they're add-ons for, but I think they're add-ons for the art print tier, and I think they're add-ons for the head sketch tier. So if you get the head sketch in the book, so if you get the ink head sketch in the book, they're add-ons. I think they're add-ons with the art print. And that, funny enough, came about because Phil Diaz made that suggestion to me. He goes, I want to be able to get the head sketch tier. I want a head sketch inside the book, an ink head sketch, and I want to be able to get those art books. And I was like, well, that is a good idea. Wouldn't you know it, Phil Diaz has a bunch of really good ideas. So that might be why you're going to see my work in CG Vacation. You know, we're compatible in that way. Shocker. So like right here, I'm trying to set those eyes in a little bit deeper because that's what, you know, her quality is. Question, why does Nosfero have a bone in his nose? Does it serve a purpose? Excellent. Yes, it does, Teflon Ron. He has a piece of iron-ish metal through his nose, which is why Nosfero means iron nose. It's basically like a pin in a mind grenade that is a doorway that was opened in a ritual to another dimension, and it would split him in half to open that doorway if he didn't have that pin there holding it in. And it's also his connection to that other world is part of what gives him his powers. Great question. Really great question. I already ordered the book plus both art books, but was not a tier, not an add-on. Yes, that one ran out indeed. I believe it's a spike made from iron or ferrous. That's right. Therefore, Nosfero. You're absolutely right. It's so he can say, "I have a bone to pick with you." Ironically, that's right. Yeah, that, and also, I don't know if you guys obviously can imagine. I'm a fan of the Phantom. I was introduced to it with the Tom Tyler Phantom series and things like that. And I love the comics. I've got the original comics over there, the comic strips of the Phantom. But I love the Phantom, and I love the idea of characters that are from a more savage sort of domain and territory engaging in the modern world. And because the story is taking place in the past, the hardest thing in the world for me to figure out was, okay, well, like, how do I take this world and put something in it that's a little terrifying? So when you see, I don't know, Vikings or something to that effect in a world, like, how do they're contextually more brutal than, say, you know, Arthurian knights in terms of visually, and they give it that context. And so I started thinking about what would something kind of ancient and kind of terrifying be. And I started thinking about, you know, doing something that is very much in the language of comics in terms of how it's interpreted, that would be, you know, unsettling and would give you pause before completely feeling comfortable with a character, much like the Batman. You know, nowadays we go, oh, look, that's Batman. But, you know, if you imagine seeing Batman in the 30s, you know, you'd be like, what is happening here? This is not a, you know, is this the Phantom? No. But if you saw, you know, Batman back in the day, that you would be at a loss. And that's what I wanted for him. I wanted him to live up to where we are now. Like, he's going to be taking some people down. I want him to be an intimidating character. That's key for me. Let me see here. Let's see here. Is like bone to pick with you. Oh, so he's a grenade. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he is indeed. FYI, Madeline Smith is really hot. Amen. What about Billy Zane though? I'm cool with Billy Zane. I got to tell you, I think that movie was sadly, and 80s Made Consumer was talking about it recently. I just think there were a couple of things that hurt that movie. And I feel bad pointing any of them out, to be honest, because I'm sure people do the best they can do with what they've got. But I feel as though Treat Williams was the problem with that movie. And I love Treat Williams as an actor. I think he's a very good actor and a solid actor. I just think the hammy approach that he took didn't work with the modern sensibilities. And I think it's because, you know, we hadn't had a lot of the actors that we saw at that point doing movies were and carrying off the superhero thing were people like Jack Nicholson in Batman 1989. And with sincere apologies, or with all due respect, dare I say, Treat Williams is not Jack Nicholson, and that wasn't the right approach for him. And he's much more of a mustache twirling villain, and he went full Joker. He went full madman, and it just didn't work for me. Let's see here. Can't wait for Nosfero to come out. I want to see how this story comes to life from all these paint streams. Hey, absolutely. the real joy of it is having it unfold on the paper. And I spent a couple hours, more than a couple hours probably, writing this morning. It all blurs. And, I can guarantee you is you are going to get, and you will really get the sense that you watch this thing being made, that this is a book done by an artist much in the same vein as the first issue of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where you've basically just got, the resources you need to make a book. You got the support that you need, and all you've got is your imagination, and that's it. And so I will give you something that is worth the money, I promise. That is my promise to you. Nosfero is metal as, yeah, absolutely. Right on. And that's the thing too, where what I was saying to my wife about this when I was working on it is I go, okay, so I know that I can paint and I know that I've got a story. My objective is that I've been, making these art books. This is going to be at the very least the finest collection of artwork I've ever done. And it's going to be beautifully printed. And I told her, I go, and it's going to introduce characters, worlds, and visuals that at the very least, if there is nothing else there, it will be worth the price of admission. And I intend to deliver more than that. That is the goal. I would not be working on it so hard if it wasn't, if there wasn't more than that. But that is the minimum that I guarantee you. And that's the key. That's the key to making this project and getting to share it with you guys. My God. How lucky can one guy get is my question. I consider myself to be incredibly lucky. And my wife hates that word. Sorry. Fortunate. We use the word fortunate in our house. It's one of the many things I will agree with her on. Because I do understand what the implication is. I know Anna hates the word talented, and I would agree, or talent. I agree with that just because of the discipline involved. But I think that, yeah. There we go. I mean, you guys will know this when you're as you watch these streams and as you're looking at this work, but you got to feel it. You got to feel it. You got to want to make this thing to be something great. Random McGranderson cracking up. Let me see here. It's fun to pick with you. See, Dan got that. Jack Nicholson is still, he's my Joker too, period. Yeah, although with the Killing Joke style, evil rather than the Jack Nicholson evil. Yes, I agree with that, and he is. Finally seen Top Gun Maverick yesterday, loved it. Yeah, Gabe has been singing its praises. And I'm going to be seeing it soon. Once got a couple of other things I got to take care of first. And then that's my first movie on my list that I want to get to see. It looks great, and love that movie. Love the first movie, so of course I want to go see it. And I love the attitude of that was behind making it, for lack of a better way of putting it. There we go. Light. I swear, like when you guys are watching something I never thought people would get a chance to see. This is such a strange world in terms of technology that's available to us. But I love getting enough of that core value down, of color, to then put these highlights in where the light is going to, hit the cheekbone and start to define the face a little bit more. That's the stuff that I live for, because it's the most fun part of, and it's the magical part of painting. It's where those little highlights start to come in and you start to believe in the physicality of the face, and I'm lucky enough to work with a lot of, or stand shoulder to shoulder with a lot of creators who do great stuff. And so, Dan Lawless included, of course, in the chat there. Vero Freire, good to see you, my friend. Are you feeling it? I'm feeling it. Absolutely. Top Gun, definitely worth the movie ticket price. Yeah, I want to see it in the theater. Absolutely. Talent isn't a dirty word if you recognize it is earned through hard work. Yes, absolutely. Meant to be natural ability without effort. Yeah. I mean, I think that the interplay of the two are important, because we're all born with different skill sets and different levels of ability. And those all have to be, if you have any ability you have, has to be honed over time through discipline. It's that great quote, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. It's absolutely true. I was really informed by the book by Anders Ericsson on called Peak, where he talks about how, you know, the myth that if anybody tries hard enough, they're going to be great at something is not the case. I'm not going to be, you know, Kobe Bryant if I, you know, practice hard enough. However, with, you know, good training, good feedback, and good advice, you can be competent at these things. You can be skilled at these things to a level to which it will benefit you greatly. And I think that's where a lot of people give up. I mean, my approach to art, funny enough, was if I can't be an unrivaled genius, then I'm not going to bother. I love art so much. I knew I had to make artwork, but I'm disciplined to where I want to improve and get better and better and better. Let's see here. Now, don't you go crying when you see Maverick Shop. I do not guarantee that. I don't guarantee that. I took my son to see, Bane Mailer says, Top Gun on Father's Day. Oh, that's nice. Next to the Lightyear Theater. Such a wise decision. We loved it. Amen. Is there a ruler of the undead in your story, an ultimate boss, if you will? Yep, there is. The ruler in this story and the ultimate boss. Ooh, did you guys hear that? That will wake you up in the morning. Whew. Gotta get that straightened out. The ultimate boss in this world and villain is, of course, Amun al-Hazred. And there he is. He is the undead mummy Nosferatu who opened the doorway, understands the secret of death, and is, if vampirism was a disease, he is not even patient zero. He is where it began and manifest as a single-celled organism, and that is Amun al-Hazred. And he is a mummy. He is the author of the Necronomicon Ex Nihil, and he is what is behind this quest, this nihilistic quest to bring about the end of humanity. That is his only aim, and he is committed to it. He is no other. He doesn't want to take over the world. He doesn't want to do any of that stuff. He wants to bring about its end. And his entire existence has been dedicated to unlocking the secrets of how to get that done. And all of those secrets that he's unlocked through his study, he has documented in the Necronomicon Ex Nihil. So there's much to this world that you are going to have. There's so many first appearances in this book. It's unbelievable. It's the whole world's established. It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1 is the best way I can think to see it. All you need to be Kobe Bryant is a helicopter. Too soon, too dark. Talent means nothing without passion. Indeed. Yog Sothoth. Exactly. Yes. I saw Aaron doing a cover for Wraith of God 2. Looks like he's including Nosferatu. Yes. Yeah. Aaron's great. And I'm actually there's a couple of other things he's been working on. I'm sorry, my brain isn't exactly fresh as a daisy right now. But yeah, he's working on a lot of stuff that I'm really interested in. Gosh, he was just we share a passion for the work of Bernie Wrightson and all of that kind of stuff, and the Western aspect of it. I'm super into what Aaron's doing. He's doing some great stuff. I can't wait to get Wraith of God. I know it's going to be beautiful. I know it's going to be his best work too, because I do think that he's in the zone on that, man. He's in the zone. And that's what makes it so great, is you're seeing a lot of artists at the height of their powers, or I should say maybe at the plateau height of their powers. They've mastered these skills, and they're trying to like bring to bear everything they have on these creations, these original creations that you guys are there for the origin of. And to miss out on such a thing, to me, is not something I'm not gonna make that mistake. That's why I backed Wraith of God. I'm so excited about that book. I'm also really excited about Snowman: A Cold Day in Hell too. I can't wait to hear more about that. I know that Matt Martin is working on that, and I've seen, obviously Ethan's posted some of the pages and things like that. But I'm really excited about that book because that's right up my alley. That's one of those books when I see the artwork for it that I wish I had the courage to make, if that makes sense. Or I wish I had the courage, because that's part of it. Because there's a lot of courage in this book. But there's just a rawness to it that I just don't think it's not my my thing. I'm not able to do it, but I love seeing others do it. Let me see here. Yeah, it looks good. So I'm guessing this story will be at least 5 books before Nosfero meets him face to face. That depends on you guys. But the story has got every episode of this story. Every episode of this story is self-contained. Every time I do a story, it is as if it could end there, because I don't ever want, like, I don't want to leave people with a cliffhanger on a story, so that they, it should feel resolved to me when I'm doing my stuff, much like a serialized story. And I would say, as far as the villain is concerned, think about Amun al-Hazred. And yes, I do imagine them meeting at some point. But just imagine Amun al-Hazred not like one of the villains in the Shadows, Rogues Gallery. But think of him as crime. Crime will never be defeated in the Shadow, or else the Shadow would have no purpose. Such as, the tyranny of evil men, as Jules Winfield would say in Pulp Fiction. That is what Amun al-Hazred is. He's the tyranny of evil men, and he will not be defeated, but he will be fought. He will never go away. He will always have to be fought, and that's the thing, to pick up that sword for every generation and fight. Shanth, you know what I realized about your work? I love the way you paint faces, because you humanize them in the same way Art T-Bear does. Wow, that's high praise. Yeah, Art T-Bear does great faces. And thank you. I appreciate that. Stephen Rockwood, geez, that means a lot, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it's the best way I could think to speak to it myself is I really I love portrait painting. I love people, and I love to see, and I strive to see the humanity in the characters that I make. And so, yeah, it's my favorite thing to do in the world is to paint faces and get that kind of that quality that you can get. And yeah, Art does great stuff that way. Dave Stevens is a hero of mine, and all those really just astoundingly good artists. Shoot, even James Bama, man, that stuff, God rest him. What a genius. What a genius when it comes to painting portraits. He left such a brilliant legacy. He lived a long life, and he did great work in his time, but much like Mobius or any of those other greats that have really inspired me, it doesn't make taking their loss any easier. I'd love to see more James Bama work forever. And the same thing goes for Mobius. The same thing goes for all of the artists who inspire me. I'm always like, one more painting. I would love to see one more painting. That's the way it is. Let me see here. Okay, glasses here. I think because your bad guy is a vampire, it's a bit harder for me to think about him as an abstract evil like Yog-Sothoth. Yes, absolutely. That's why I have to say he's the tyranny of evil men, or compare him to something like crime. He's not pure evil, because pure evil is cosmic in that sense. So you're absolutely right on that. That's a big part of it, isn't it? He is more terrifying than Dracula, because he's like Dracula meets the Mummy meets somebody who is trying to open the door to, Cthulhu, for lack of a better way of putting it. It's not what it is, but it's its own thing. I'm not going to be using that character. However, it's like Dracula was the end of that evil. We defeat Dracula and it's over. Dracula is, in this world, would be a second-tier villain under this guy. And the cosmic horrors that are beyond the gate, those are they're above him. They're way above his pay grade. So that's the best way I would put it. I think you're right, though. That's great. A possible painted Shanth snowman cover. Oh, man, if I was ever to be commissioned to do a snowman cover, I'd be there in a New York minute. Period. I would love to do a snowman cover. I did. Some of you guys probably have seen it, but Ethan recently shared the trading card, the Cyberfrog trading card I did. If Ethan wants to ever commission me to do something for Snowman, I would do it in a second. I love that character. I think it's in that world. I love the approach he's taking to it. It's really cool. You know, it was the same thing when I did the illustration for Narwhal for Nosferatu, or the CG Vacation piece of from Downcast. There's certain things I love to paint. I love 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, the Disney film as well as the book. And obviously the Disney film departs a great deal from that book, but I do love Kirk Douglas in that and James Mason. And I love Harper Goff's brilliant design of that submarine. So when the opportunity to work on and to explore Downcast was put in front of me, I mean, heaven's sake, I was going to take a crack at it for sure. I was thrilled to do so. And the character that I'm working on for the Visions book right now is another such example of such a character that I want to work on. Let me see here. There we go. Yeah, we're getting there. So I was got to make sure, because I'm painting at an angle, that I'm not doing some weird perspective thing. Oh gosh, I got to move my glasses. Okay. Do you know, of course, I know Brom. Love Brom stuff. Or Ron Ruppel. Dark Sun was the D&D that my friend played that I joined in on. I drew all the characters that I drew were characters from the Dark Sun world when my friends would have me draw their D&D characters. So yes, I do. Love that stuff. It's great. Evie, I should get Shanth to do a Salamandroid cover. That would be epic. Yeah, there's a Salamandroid. I will tell you this. Dale Keown may have killed my confidence in ever drawing Salamandroid again. But, yeah, I would be honored to do such a thing. Of course. Love those characters. Part of the story is showing how the main villain uses his power over the living, indeed. Which vampire is your favorite? I was digging into some of the old vampire lore and learned that in some traditions, Cain from the Bible is the first generation of vampire that the rest hail from. Wow. Yeah, my favorite vampire is, of course, Nosferatu, just in terms of the language of cinema was my first language, and that's the vampire that struck me. But I love it, man. I love it. Shanth, let's see your visions piece of Laurel. Let's see. Oh, it's not Laurel. I was commissioned by someone to do another character. So, yeah, it's not my own character. Let's see here. You'd be the guy who could bring back Sinbad, the sailor. Yeah, I love the Sinbad movies. Absolutely. And I love, the Sinbad character, but I'd be full Ray Harryhausen with it. I loved the cheesy movies. I do too. Yeah. The Golden, the Golden Voyage of Sinbad is my favorite. I do love, the first Sinbad movie. God, why am I blanking on it? I can't believe I'm blanking on the name of the first Sinbad movie. I'm so tired. The Cyclops, one of the most beautiful design, but I love the Cyclops centaur from the Golden Voyage of Sinbad. What is the dang, I'm totally blanking on this. My kids absolutely love 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Yeah, we watch it every New Year's, which is crazy because of how old it is, but it has so much heart. It absolutely does. Love Peter Lorre in that movie. He is so great. A Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. That's it. Yeah, the Seventh Voyage of Sinbad is beautiful, and I love it. But the Golden Voyage just had some great acting in it and some really great stop motion. The Kali stop motion fight is one for the record books. It's so brilliant. So hey, listen, guys, I need to go grab some food. My brain is starting to fade. I'm getting shaky with my hand here, so I probably need to get some food. But thank you guys for being here, and thank you for backing Nosfero, for getting the word out, for liking and subscribing to this channel. All the great stuff you guys do. I appreciate it. I'm having the time of my life making this book for you guys. There's a lot of love in this book. There's a lot of artistry, a lot of care, a lot of craft, a lot of sexiness, a lot of monsters, a lot of cool other worlds and locations. It's going to be a great book for you to enjoy. And I thank you guys for backing it. And I appreciate all of you guys being here. Have a great rest of the day, whatever your day has in store for you. I hope it's good stuff. Go check out some of the great streams going on. Oh, Ethan is doing a drawing stream right now. FYI, guys. Yeah, go and check it out. I will go check it out as I eat. And thank you guys so much for being here. It's always great to see you guys. Yeah, Sinbad movies jingle all the way. I got that. That took me a second. I wish you had, could get the rights to do an Elric comic. Actually, there's a great Elric adaptation by European Comics. A European Comics that Razor Fist is always talking about. Go check it out. You'll love it. Nosfero the Crypt Walker people, thank you so much for backing it. Please back it if you have not yet. I do check it every so often, and it's always great to see when it goes up. See you later, Sean. Thank you, First Watch Studios. Have a great rest of your day, everyone, says James Hayes. Thank you, James Hayes. Excellent work, and enjoy the live stream. Thank you, my man. God bless you. I appreciate it. And probably have a great day, Sean. Thank you so much. You too as well. Subscribe to my channel, says Stephen Rockwood Drawing. And yes, please do. There it is. The link is in the description. I'm going to play you guys out. Thank you so much for being here. I'll talk to you soon, and please, please, as always, stay gold.
Here's a little something for you busters. Yeah.
You're not even learning anything on the street.
Yeah.
You think I'm stupid, son?
Yeah.
See what I'm trying to say to you, boy?
Yeah.
Do you?
What's up with that?
Look at me, damn it!
Y'all cowards don't even smoke crack. What's up with that?
You smoke crack, don't you?
Y'all cowards don't even smoke crack.
Look at me, boy!
Hey to you.
You smoke crack, don't you?
Don't even smoke crack.
You know what that does to you? Huh? You smoke crack, don't you?
Smoke crack.
Go on and do it expeditiously.
What's up with that?
It kills your brain cells, son. It kills your brain cells.
Don't even smoke crack.
No gut, huh?